Trump has rolled back tariffs on many commonly used day-to-day items, and it is believed that this benefits many exports coming out of India. What are all the details? Who benefits? Who is still looking for some sort of clarity on the tariff problem is what we are going to cover here. A quick request to all of you to please like this video, and if you have not already subscribed to our channel, do subscribe to our channel. Here we go. Who was Parashurama, who led a life of devotion, dedication, and daring? Why did he take birth on the earth? Was it to eradicate corrupt Kshatriya rulers who had become tyrannical and oppressive, or was it to bestow daya for the needy? Trump's tariff rollback. What exactly happened? Why is he doing this? Well, there are many reasons, but I can tell you the most important thing is, as always, politics and the fact that the Republicans have lost Virginia, which used to be theirs as far as the gubernatorial post is concerned, and they've also lost badly in New York and New Jersey, which was also considered to be slowly leaning red, and that's also gone. So clearly the writing is on the wall that Trump needs to do something, otherwise this tariff gate is going to finish his career, and that's probably why he's trying to do some baby steps to try and make it a little bit easier for common man to lead his life. What are all the things that have been exempted? 254 products, of which 229 are agricultural items, and these were all being exempted from reciprocal tariffs. So these exemptions cover around $1 billion of India's exports, although if you add a few more things, that might even come to a slightly bigger number, like 2 billion. I'm just going to come to that in just a moment. The exemption became effective on November 13th, and therefore now if you go to the stores, some of these things should be at their original price as it existed maybe 3-4 months ago. Let's wait and see, because it takes a little bit of time for the grocery stores to reflect a newer, lower price. Newer, higher price, no problem, instantaneous, but new lower price, not so fast. Well, what were the reasons? One, like I said, US grocery prices were going up, and this was really causing a lot of heartburn, and the Trump administration faces voter anger for 25-26. Like I said, what happened, the debacle on November 4th, and this is also intended to ease domestic inflation, lower the cost of living burden, and address public discontent following the GOP defeats in the recent by-elections. Trump has also proposed $2,000 rebate checks funded by tariff revenue. I'm not 100% sure if every American citizen is going to get it. Maybe those who are below a certain line may only get it. However, that could still be a huge number, because 1 in 2 families in the United States paid zero income tax for the past 2-3 years. Right after COVID, the whole thing has turned upside down. So that means that perhaps if they find the money and the means, they might actually give $2,000 per family. We'll wait and see. And India's strong distribution networks and diaspora driven had impressed upon the Trump administration the fallacy of their move. Perhaps that also had a hand in this. Who are the main gainers? The main gainers are spices such as black pepper, cloves, cumin, turmeric, ginger, and cardamom, with exports to the US rising to 358 to 500 million. Just this category is $500 million. Tea and coffee exports to the US amounted to close to 83 million. India supplies approximately 20% of the United States cashew need, and that comes to around 843 million. India exports processed foods comprising 50 items such as tea extracts, cocoa, juices, and mango derivatives valued at 491 million to the US. So the total expected benefit is between $2.5 billion to $3 billion, and India also exports 48 types of fruits and nuts, coconuts, guavas, mangoes, pineapples, and areca nuts, and that is worth close to 55 million. One of the things about India grown products is taste-wise, they appear to be a little bit better, especially mangoes, because since I grew up eating those mangoes, I think that they are tastier when they are grown in India. I don't know why, but I have eaten Mexican grown mangoes and other country mangoes. Somewhere it's not quite as tasty as, for example, Banganapalli or one of the other Alfonsos and other things. There is something else. But again, this is my personal opinion. Many of you may like the one that's grown in Mexico. I just wanted to tell you that there is a certain attraction because maybe it's nostalgia. There is a certain attraction to eating stuff that is grown in India. Now, which are the products that did not get relief, still facing 25 to 50% tariffs? Seafood, basmati rice, gems and jewelry, and apparel and textile exports. These sectors represent multi-billion-dollar trade volumes and remain outside the exemption list. So, does this thing move the needle as far as the US India free trade agreement goes? Well, the relations were strained due to tariffs and India's Russian oil imports. Maybe a baby step has been taken by America to ease the pain of its own citizens, and that's how the tariffs have been reduced for these products. This could also be looked at as a goodwill gesture on part of the United States. Maybe there'll be some thawing from the Indian side too, and it could end up reviving India-US talks, and perhaps they will again come close to making an agreement. Now, the global competition for India still remains a challenge. Latin America, Africa, and ASEAN suppliers may gain more due to their stronger presence in fruits and juices, lower logistics costs. Remember, I told you India is between 13 to 14% as far as logistic costs go, and the world is at 8%. So India needs to really lower it by 50%. 50%, and that's not easy, I tell you. There's so much grease, grafting that happens, corruption when things move from place of produce to the place of export. This is something that the Indian government needs to really pay attention to. Also, as you scale, you may be able to recover some of it, but it is fruits, right? You got to make sure that the fruit will last 2 to 3 weeks because there's a transit time involved also. So there are lots of considerations of that nature. Also, exporters warn that high freight costs persist. Vietnam and Indonesia pose serious competition, and US quality norms remain stringent. That is understandable because US doesn't want any new fruit-based problems to come into the United States. And the market recovery for India depends not only on tariff relief but also on logistics and pricing power. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. As far as the political optics in the US for Trump are concerned, critics say Trump is tone deaf to inflation concern. All he keeps saying is that lower the interest rate, but that does not solve all the problems. Inflation is already quite a bit significant. I think 3% is not true. It's probably closer to 4 or 5%. I'm telling you, if I go to the grocery store, it used to be $20 average, now it's $40. So 100% increase in like maybe 1-2 years. And that is very noticeable when you see that every time you make a trip, there is so much more. Except for a few things that are grown in the United States itself, the rest of the stuff has seen price increases. That's true. And people are making fun of Trump's move to create a ballroom, which allegedly is bigger than the rest of the White House itself. So I don't know, that sounds a little, but it's created for all the presidents coming in the future. So I don't know why that should be made a big deal. And they also mocked Trump saying that my budget and my reality are not on speaking terms anymore. Now, what is the bottom line for India? Tariff rollback is a big win for Indian spices, tea, coffee, processed foods, and cashew exporters. But true gains depend on freight and logistics improvement, price competitiveness, and expansion into currently weak product categories. The exemptions cover less than 1/5 of India's farm export, but restart trade momentum after months of slowdown. So that's the good news there. My 2 cents is the logistics part is actually a low-hanging fruit. It can be fixed. Already the fact that now you don't need to stop when you're crossing state borders, that you can use RFIDs to tag you, all these things add up because then all the freight trucks are not going to be stopping constantly, which means it's less time to go from the place of produce to the place of export. And I can just go on. There are many small things that India can do to bring this whole thing under control. Let's wait and see how it plays out. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.